Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me to a slightly different tutorial than what I normally do. If you don't know me, my name is Kay and I mainly post about wigs and wig reviews. But today I want to show you how I achieve this very subtle look, mainly concentrating on how I got rid of my dark circles under the eyes. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, please like and subscribe. So I've done my skincare, so you can see I have discoloration around the nose. I have some kind of darker spots at the top here, and then my dark under eyes here, and then just some discoloration here. So I am not the biggest fan of using foundation, etc. I like the really no makeup look. And now I'm just going to add my face primer, which is by Face Theory. Clean makeup, try to use as much as possible. So I just put that on, let it dry for a little bit. So obviously mainly around the eye. So I use the Studio 10 Age Defy Skin Perfector 4-in-1. Or in here you have a primer, which I don't use because I use my Face Theory one. And then you have two color correctors, one green one, which is more for reddish discoloration. And then you can see this kind of peachy one, which I use for my under eyes. And then you have two concealers, one lighter, one darker. So you can kind of mix the color that you need, because obviously with the sun and everything, your color might change a little bit. So I find that really useful, because sometimes I just need the lighter, sometimes I just need the darker, and sometimes I mix these two. So really useful. So to apply, you can use a finger because it warms it up a little bit, but I found a little brush like this really useful. This one is by Laura Geller. I think it's just a detail brush. Dab in. Really, you just don't need much. And then I just apply it where I need it. So I put a little bit too much, but that's all right. So I just move it across and really get in that corner, because that's really where my discoloration is. And a little bit down here as well. And then I use my finger to press it in. And just think you can already see a little bit of a difference. So here's nothing on here at all, and here's just a color corrector on there. So, and then I go to the other side here of the eye, because I have a bit of discoloration there as well, and just press that in with my finger. Need a little bit more, a bit more here. And I think it makes already quite a difference. So no corrector here and corrector here, especially in the inner corner. So I probably want to add a little bit more here, because I haven't really added much there. And I press that in. Sometimes I use this end and I feel I have used a little bit too much product, so just to get rid of the excess. So that already looks much better. So let me now do this side. So same thing, just tab in literally a little bit. You really don't need much. And then it's like painting by numbers. Find the dark and paint over it with this color. The green one that's meant for red discoloration, I hardly use. I found that on me the green kind of just stays green rather than just disappear. So I don't use that one. And I also found if I use more under here, any product, it makes it look quite cakey. So I try to avoid that. No matter what product I tried, it just never worked for me. So just pop on a little bit more. And again, as I said, I do press it in with my fingers, warm it up, then it moves nicer. And a little bit, and already quite a bit of a change there. So here is a little bit darker, so let me pop something on there as well. For me, color corrector only goes that far. So I will, sometimes I just leave it like that, depending on when I need it and where I want to go and what I want to do. I literally only use the color corrector, but sometimes I use the concealer as well. So much better. I think my eyes already look much more awake. And it's literally, I don't have much product on at all. All right, let's do the other corner of the eye, because that's a bit dark there as well. And sometimes I wash across my eyelids as well with a color corrector, but that's a mood thing. So most of the time I use the concealer for that. So now I could use the concealer. However, I still use a little bit of color corrector around my nose. So you can see it's red. So if it works for you, you should really then use the green. For me, it just doesn't. It doesn't seem to be wanting to do that. And look at that difference. No color corrector, color corrector. Again, press it in. And do this side. And now we have color corrector on both sides. So again, already it looks all a bit fresher. So you can see here my darker spots, and here you can use concealer there. I use first a little bit, literally just a little bit of the color corrector. It's still visible, but not as much. And then I use the concealer. So again, just a little bit. Because as you can see, you don't really get that much product, which is a shame because I use it actually quite a lot. And then there's some little bit of darker spots here. Gives a nice even base. So, and now I use the concealers. So for under the eye, I used to start with using just the light one. However, I found that it looks more natural to just use the darker one. So on me, so you might have to play with that a little bit. So I just add the darker one there. So I put it where I put the corrector. And again, just a little bit, only that much. And just pop it on the dark spots. And press it in. So now you have the concealer and the corrector on this side and only the corrector on this side. So slightly better coverage here. Again, you can just keep going until you are happy with it. As I said, I don't like much product, so I tend not to use too much. It's nice and creamy. It does really get into that into the skin really nicely. So with concealer here as well, no concealer. So let's put some concealer on this side. And try and go into the corner of that eye and then press it in and then check. So slightly better. I might want to have a little bit more. So really I just paint over those dark spots and press it in rather than I don't swipe, I press. Because if I swipe, I just move the product to where I don't really want it to go. So now I think it looks much, much fresher. So let me just do this side here as well. And then press in. So, and then let me come closer. Really nice finish, I personally feel. So for the nose, only corrector on it. For that, I do just mix them. So I go in one, the other, mix the other. So I just see what's the best coverage. So at the moment, I think that's too dark. So I want a bit more of a light. And then I go in and pat it in. Now, I think I used a little bit too much. So what I then do is use this end and pat, but with the brush. And then with my fingers again. And then don't forget under the nose. Because it's quite a big surface area where I want this product, I actually swipe a little bit now as well. Because my nose has a bit of discoloration, not just around here, but up here as well. So I just a little bit, not too much. Still want to look kind of natural there. Just take off a little bit of that discoloration. For my two dark spots at the top there, I do the same. Just pop a little bit into both concealer colors so they create a different shade to what's in there. And then I just pat it on. And then it's kind of even it out. Now, you still can see it a little bit. I'm not that bothered about it. It's just because I still want a natural look. So you can obviously keep going until you're happy. So here is quite a bit of discoloration, if you see here. So I'm just going to pat over it again. It will still kind of shine through, but I just want to kind of dampen it a little bit, if that makes sense. Just want to make it a bit less discolored. I still want to have the natural look, so I'm not too fussed if it doesn't cover it all. And then on the other side, as you can see here, I have a bit more here as well. Because it's a bigger area, I do move it around. So I do swipe rather than pat. I do like a mixture of patting and swiping here. So where I don't want it to move, where I definitely want coverage, I pat and where it doesn't really matter because I just want it to look more natural, I swipe across. So my chin is not too bad, but I could do the same, just do a little bit of mixture of both and just plonk it on and then swipe it across. Because I have nothing really I want to cover there, but I do want to look fairly natural. So I'll probably do a little bit over my eyelids, just because, as you can see, there's a little bit of discoloration as well. Not much, just a little bit of the lighter color. Just pop it on there. Like that. And again, that makes it look quite awake. So far it hasn't settled into my lines. And the other thing you can do, use the lighter one and just pop it under the arch of your eyebrow there. Which kind of lifts it all. And I just check if I'm happy with it, because I'm now going to set it with some setting powder before I then apply the rest of my makeup. I do setting powder now before I add all my other makeup on, simply because I want this to not move. And I use the Face Theory loose powder, and I just dropped it, so that's why I have powder everywhere. I only have a cheap powder brush, so I just pop it on. It's now set, so I can now go in with all my other makeup. So I will be back with my hair on and my proper makeup done. So I'm back with my hair on. So what I've done is add a brow pencil. I added an eyeliner, mascara, and I added a lip liner. My lip liner is by Tropic and the color is Flirt. Really nice natural color. Sometimes I use that and then put another color, kind of reddish color on. What I haven't done yet is add a blush and highlighter. So for that, I use a Sculpted by Aimee. It's the face and eye palette. So it has eyeshadows, setting powder, bronzer, blush, and the highlighter. So with that, as you can see, I mainly use just the blush and the highlighter. So I go in with my finger and do 3 dots and then combine them. And then I use a face brush. This one is by Studio 10. And just move it up. I don't use much, and on camera it looks even less. Literally just to give me a little bit of color. So pop a finger in, 3 dots, and then just move it across, and whatever's on here I just then pop on my forehead. If it's not enough, I just go in with my finger again and just pop that on there as well, just to give me a little bit of color. And then I use the highlighter. So I go in with my middle finger and pop one right in the corner here. It just gives a little bit of a light to that area. And then I also go under the arch. You don't need much. Go down my nose and on top of my cheekbones. Here the important thing is then, well, at least for me, to then use my finger and just smooth it out so it doesn't look like you put something on it. It just looks like radiant skin. Just gives you an idea. And then that's it. My eyes are much better. I look less tired, and that's the main thing. And then I just add a little bit more color to it if you like. So I really hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. If you have any questions, any comments, please put them down below, and subscribe if you found this useful. And if you haven't done so already, please follow me on Instagram and Facebook at KWestWigs. Have a lovely day, and I hope I see you soon. Bye.